Hello, it is Sunday, May 8th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Daily Solve. New York Times Crossword Daily Solve, that is. This is a Sunday crossword, so a large grid. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I have a bit of a time crunch today, so we'll get on with this quickly. This, I don't know, maybe quick but not so quick edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Josh Lucas, David Innes, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster and the invaluable Timothy Mark. So thank you so much to the four of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for directly supporting this channel. I do very much appreciate that. And if you'd like to join their ranks as benefactors and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve. But of course, if you back at any other level, you get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the Patreon channel to date, and there have been several that have gone up in the last few days. So do look out for those. And you can also join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. That's free for anybody to join. You get an extra channel if you're a patron, but other than that, it is open to all. And you can solve puzzles created by members of the Daily Solve community there in the Constructor's Corner channel, which is really fun. I haven't mentioned that recently, but that's a very nice thing. I need to solve some more of those this month. And do subscribe to the channel. All right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to solve this puzzle. Let's do it. It's a Sunday puzzle. It's appropriately entitled 2x2 because it was constructed by two crossword setters today. We have Matthew Stock and Chandy Deitmer. Matthew Stock is an experienced crossword constructor, constructed a number of puzzles in the past, and this is only Chandy Deitmer's second puzzle. But her first puzzle was one that I solved relatively early in the run of the Daily Solve. It was July 25th last year. I looked that up earlier today, and it was an incredibly impressive and fascinating puzzle that involved the illustration of constellations in the grid with special sort of themed cells. So you could look that up if you're interested. It was July 25th, 2021. All right. No idea what these two have in store for us today, but let's get going. 2x2. Some old PCs. Well, they could be IBM's. IBM was a big PC manufacturer. Philosophy could be an ism, as in nihilism, that kind of thing. High school class in the same department as chem, and high school has been abbreviated to HS, so the answer probably also will be abbreviation biology, bio, abbreviated. Yahoo alternative. MSN, I guess they're both sort of slightly dated portals, web portals, I guess you'd call them. Trusty to the end, steady or something like that. 1990s sitcom starring Tia and Tamara Mowry. Oh, sister, sister. And I wonder if this is related to the theme, 2x2. I suspect it will be related to the theme. So we may have a number of answers that involve repetition like this. We'll keep a lookout for that. Trusty to the end. Oh, right, I just looked at that. Pirate's booze could be grog, a rum-based drink. One way to learn, not sure. And to experience financial ruin, to go broke, to... like the $6 Million Man. The $6 Million Man was famously bionic, so that should sort of rebuild with robotic parts. Anchors Away group. And away, it's spelled in that manner. So is this USO? Maybe? Is this the organization that entertains overseas military members, maybe? Oh, yes. Experience financial ruin is to go bust. There we go. Why didn't I see that? An Amtrak stop is a station, Amtrak being passenger train network in the United States. And a lab worker could be a lab tech. And lab and tech are similarly abbreviated. Oh, look, this looks Grand Prix City. Is this going to be repeated? I can't quite tell. Maybe not. No, I don't think so. Yeah. Sort of looks like it, but the O's are in the wrong position. All right. Start a web session. Log on or log in? I'm not sure which. Yeah, I don't know. What about this? Subject of interest in brief. So a subject that involves earning interest could be economics, econ, and the in brief indicates the abbreviated nature of the answer. Trusty to the end. Still something? Grand Prix city. Oh no, it's not. It's stalwart. I was thinking Monaco looks like the answer, but Monaco would be spelled with an A. Indeed it is. So stalwart, trusty to the end. Okay, Monaco. What is going on here? Maybe this isn't USO. Anchors Away Group. US Navy, maybe? Maybe station is STA. Oh, Monaco, Monaco. Oh, is that because Monaco is sort of a, I don't know, sort of a city-state kind of entity? So we have sister, Monaco, Monaco. So this was another repetition. I just had quite a few letters in the wrong, incorrectly filled. Whoops. So station can be STN or STA. I should have been more cognizant of that when I put it in. Oh well. One way to learn. You could learn by osmosis, which means you sort of absorb information from those around you. So start a web session was indeed log on. Tribute, and chess piece whose name is derived from the Persian for chariot. It must be a rook based on the fill. That's interesting. I think I probably knew that, but had learned that at some point, but didn't retain it very well. Tribute, an homage. There we go. You could pay tribute, pay homage. And singular praise could be kudo, as in kudos. It's probably reverse engineered from kudos, I suspect, as opposed to the other way around. Cocktails made with ginger beer informally. Mules, as in the Moscow mule. Vodka and ginger beer. I haven't had one of those in years. Logical conundrum. A paradox. There we go. And many files in a downloads folder. Could be PDFs, maybe. You've been downloading PDFs, I suppose. To prolong something is to drag it out. I hope we don't drag out this crossword solve too long. Numismatic grade. So this will refer to stamp collecting, I believe. But fine. You could have, what is it? Fine, there's very good, and near mint, and mint are the various grades. Plopped down could be sat down. And Beethoven's Perfido for one, aria. An aria from Fidelio, Beethoven's opera. And an aria being a song in an opera that has sort of a featured singer. And then fulminate is to rant. You could rant and rave. You're fulminating. Okay, so this is going fairly well today. Talk blank, talk show, I don't know. It could be many things. Setting for many a diorama. Not sure, too vague. Shortcut missing from newer smartphones. Interesting. And lead or lead, depending on the usage. Affixes, don't know, probably ends in an S. Many Zoomers. Teens, I suppose? That's Generation Z, I guess. Currently teens. I'm not even sure where all those generational lines are at this point. Okay, what about this? Pieces in the game Bananagrams. Tiles. Bananagrams involves letter tiles, and I don't remember exactly what the game is, but something like that. Blank extra soft drink. Not sure. And then what about this? 1963 hit for the Kingsmen. Oh, it must be Louie Louie. There we go. This looks like extra extra. Yes, call from an old-time paperboy is extra extra. Story, big headline story. It's an extra edition that's been printed, I guess. Eyepiece, iris, part of your eye. And gemstone cut named for a fruit. Pear, maybe? Organization often impersonated by phone scammers. The IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, that makes sense. Tax collecting agency in the United States. And setting for many a diorama. Probably some kind of a shoebox. Yes. School children might create a diorama in a shoebox. And then is it just talk show? Affixes. Maybe it's not. Oh, talk shop, maybe. You could say you talk shop with people in your field. Affixes. Pins, maybe. You affix something to something else. You pin it to something. Southwest people known for their dry farming. Is it the Hopi? That is a indigenous group, so maybe. And, to lead is to open. You could lead a concert, open the concert. So there we go. That disambiguates lead or lead there. Okay, shortcut missing from newer smartphones. Oh, home button, right, because smartphones are increasingly just a screen covering the entire front of the phone with no button. So that looks right. And then here we have Pibb Extra soft drink. I think it's Mr. Pibb, sort of sounds familiar. That's a soda of some sort. Okay, time for a visit from Ong Tao, the kitchen god. Is it Tet? Maybe? The holiday? Nobelist Jolio Curie. Is it Irene or Irina? Actually, I think it might be Irina. It sounds more familiar. Nobel Prize winner. And then here we have really get to. If something really gets to you, it eats at you. So eat at, really get to, eat at. And, oops, didn't mean to go back to here, but anyway, we're here. So House of Commons reps are MPs, members of Parliament. Here in the UK, the House of Commons is the lower legislative body, the primary legislative body of the UK Parliament. Slices and dices say. Not actually sure. I mean, cuts, chops, minces, what is that? Computer shortcuts, macros. Macros being sort of combinations of input that you can record or otherwise create and then execute, and it will do all those things for you quickly. Romanov VIP once, Tsar, the Romanovs, the Romanov family in Russia was held the position of Tsar for a long time. It might get swiped in a college dining hall. Swiped. I bet this will be some kind of card. Oh, what would it be? The swiping, I'm betting, is sort of misdirection. It makes you think of someone stealing something, but in fact, it's a card being swiped. Oh, maybe it's not. Years and years could be eons or ages. Probably ends in an S. Time for March Madness. Question mark. So some kind of pun or wordplay is indicated by the question mark. I'm not sure what that's getting at. Thin pancakes in Indian cuisine are dosas. I do know that. Oh, slices and dices slates preps, food prep. I see. There we have it. And certain public transport could be a tram. Ultimate fighting initials. MMA, mixed martial arts, I guess. I'm not sure what the ultimate is, but that might refer to a tournament or something. Football trophy name. Oh, I think I actually know this. The Heisman Trophy, I think is that given to college football players, maybe? I'm not actually sure. I think it might be. Charlotte NBA player. Oh, I think this must be Hornet based on the crosses. So I must have been wrong about Irina. That's a shame. Irene Jolio Curie. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, and then this is the one I accidentally skipped. So blank gratia in all kindness in Latin. I guess it's good I skipped it because I'm not actually sure. So we need the in all bit. Not sure. Scottish hillside. Well, now I know. Scottish hillsides are braes. So there we go. Bona gratia in all kindness, Latin. That's good to know. So Scottish hillsides are braes, and where some replacements take place in brief. Overtimes, maybe you swap out players. I bet these will be repeated. Ah, yes. Sorry. So you get the point. Looks like etc. etc. Not etc. Watch out for that. Etc. That's a T. Well, looky here. Oh, surprise, surprise. That's a good, that's just a good entry in a crossword. It's just, I like it because it matches the feeling you can sometimes be struck by when you get something that is surprising. Okay, laborer of old could be a serf. Laborer, feudal laborer. To go by, time goes by, time elapses. To put down again is to re-something. What? To re-what? Re-ante? Put down money again? Probably not. Origami steps. Origami is the art of folding paper into artful shapes. So folds would be origami steps. Shock. You could be shocked and appalled, maybe. Shock, a synonym for appall, essentially. To put down again. Oh, so put is in the past tense here. So relayed, you put it down again, you relayed it. And a certain close relative. don't I see what this is? That's annoying. Later. Piece of roller derby equipment. Oh, and a knee pad, maybe? Oh, certain close relative to humans is an ape. I see. Right, of course. So a bit of misdirection there. We were meant to think of family members, but in fact, think of a closely related species. Lobbyists area in D.C. This is a metonym for the lobbying industry, which traditionally was heavily based around K Street. I don't know if that's still true. Okay, unchanged, as is. You could see something sold as is, unchanged. Added to a thread, say. Tied, maybe? I don't think so. Later looks like peace out, one might say. And added to a thread, say. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, CC'd, added to an email thread. Carbon copied. You looped somebody in, as some say. Miss Blank, famed dial-a-psychic. Miss Cleo, I actually remember ads for Miss Cleo growing up. Okay, egomaniac's thought. I rule, I suppose. And high style. High style. Not actually sure. Yeah, not sure. Radiator cover, a grill. You could have a grill over your radiator, the sort of slotted element. Barfly's flyer. Barfly's flyer. What is that getting at? I'm not sure what the second flyer means here, or what the second word flyer means here. High five at the Olympics. Maybe rings, the 5 Olympic rings. The question mark indicating a bit of pun or wordplay. So, being a bit cute with it. It makes you, you. Your DNA, I would suspect. When you should leave for short would be the estimated time of departure. So the for short indicates the abbreviated nature of this answer. An ETD, estimated time of departure. Okay, it might get swiped into college dining hall. Oh, student ID. Ah, so years and years is not in fact an S there at the end. That was dangerous entry. Student ID is what is swiped, and Barfly's flyer is a dart. Ah, you could play darts at the bar. I see. So years and years. What is, oh, is it eon spelled this way with the AE perhaps? And one taking action is a doer, someone who does things. Time for March Madness. Oh, so the question mark, the pun or wordplay, is indicating it's not time for March Madness, the tournament. And actually, I should have immediately pointed that out because madness is not capitalized. But rather it's time for madness in the month of March, the Ides of March, when Caesar was assassinated. So there we go. Eaglet's hatching spot is an eyrie, a sort of high nest for birds. Fee payer often. A user, I mean, you pay a usage fee. Walk with swagger could be to strut along. And a lunchtime estimate, 1-ish, maybe you'd say. We'll eat lunch at 1-ish, that's the estimate. Could be. To the blank power, yes, to the nth power. And then gulp could be, oh no. Maybe? Not sure, let's check the crosses. Lugs, you could lug something around, tote it around. And very bright, could be neon, it's often used. Neon, the obviously the chemical element, but it's neon lights, and then in turn often used to just mean very bright. Okay, attraction, so to speak, with the. Attraction, so to speak. Oh, the hots. You have the hots for someone. You have an attraction to them. Is that what that's getting at? Perch for the self-important. Yes, a high horse. And like some questions are yes-no questions. Yellowstone site. Yellowstone is a national park in the United States. I'm not sure. Hold on to something is to keep it. Oh, maybe an elk. Elk must be common in Yellowstone. Oops. To weep in an unflattering way in modern lingo would be to ugly cry. That looks right. And let's see if we can just close off these answers. Red lightsaber wielder. This from Star Wars must be the Sith, like Darth Vader. And make it so there's no way out. To ice you in, to make it so there's no way out for you. You've been iced in. snowed in. Nothing but a number, it's said. Age, they sometimes say that about. And an aromatic beverage is tea. So I think we've seen everything there. I'm trying not to miss clues like I've been doing recently. To gush over something is to fawn over it. And this over is, as I always explain, but just in case you're new, the parentheses mean we apply over both to the clue and the answer, not just the clue. So gush over matches fawn over, and it just makes it a little easier to match up the words. All-encompassing Egyptian deity would be Amun-Ra, although there are about half a dozen different ways to spell this god's name, so not sure. This is the one with which I'm most familiar, but there are other vowels you can use. It gets the show on the road. Not sure. That E could be an A as well. Maybe I shouldn't put it in yet. Soul, Spanish. Not sure. And what about this? Flights connect them. Probably ends in an S? Yes, rush order would be ASAP, so as soon as possible. And baffled could be at sea. You could say, I'm really at sea around the spelling of Amun-Ra here. Really baffled by it. To slip up is to err, to make a mistake. And essayist Susan is Sontag. If you'd like to hear me speak about Susan Sontag for several hours straight, I was the audiobook narrator for a book called Susan Sontag, The Making of an Icon, which is a biography of Susan Sontag. And you can find that on Audible and wherever you get audiobooks. Okay, it gets the show on the road. What is this? I'm sure it's very obvious. I'm sorry. A sweetie could be a bay in modern parlance. And then, a tour bus. There we go. So look at, yes, Amun-Ra was neither of my two initial vowel guesses. Actually, the Amun-Ra with a U is more common than Amun-Ra with an A there. So I should have guessed that one next. Okay, flights connect them. Floors in a building, of course. And soul in Spanish is alma. There we go. So it looks like this is all figured out. Quaint exclamation of dismay. I'm not sure. And then third column on a calendar. Tuesday, I suppose, the day of the week. Annoying could be pesky. And Dan of Schitt's Creek, Dan Levy, is one of the stars of that program. And then sound from a jalopy. A clunk, maybe, a jalopy being a car in disrepair. Quaint exclamation of dismay could be crikey. Slightly less quaint here in the UK, I suppose, still used. Played again, reran, maybe. You played an episode of Schitt's Creek again, maybe. There you are. So maybe this isn't clunk, but clang in the jalopy. Should be careful about just immediately putting in my first guesses like that. It's usually a bad idea. Words from an ex-lover. I've missed you, maybe? No. I don't know. Sings in a way. Names, and this is one of our 2x2s here. Very good. Classic joke start. Oh, knock knock. So once again, I was wrong. It wasn't clunk nor clang. It was clank. Where clang and clunk intersect. Okay, so the classic joke start is knock knock. This theme is one of those themes that really does make the puzzle easier to solve, I would say. Words from an ex-lover. I've moved on. There we go. The opposite possible way that could go to what I said. Yay or nay? A vote in a legislative body such as the House of Commons, where the MPs may vote. Okay, invite out for could be ask to tea, for instance. Tea was in the puzzle. 1990s tennis star Huber. Not sure. Anka. Big Tower for short. Oh, Big Tower for short. The question mark indicates some pun or wordplay, and the pun, or the bit of wordplay, is that we think this is Big Tower, but in fact it is an organization that might tow cars, the American Automobile Association. And then bread in Indian cuisine is naan. So our naan goes with our dosas from earlier. Okay, fried plantain dish of Puerto Rico. I'll know this when I see it, but I can't bring it to mind. Country named for its geographic location, Ecuador. There we go. Named after the equator, of course. And if something is off-kilter, it's askew. A power source is... Oh, I'm not sure. El Blanc of the Spanish Renaissance. El Greco the Greek was what he was called. Not his birth name, of course. Green vehicles are eco-cars, I guess. And noted character with object, subject, verb syntax. Oh, Yoda. This must describe the way that Yoda's sentences from Star Wars are generally constructed. That's funny. That's clever. Businesses that see an uptick after New Year's, they must be gyms of all those New Year's resolutions. And to tie down a boat, for instance, is to moor it. Aussie hoppers are roos, kangaroos. And 1040 figures are SSN. So this refers to a particular tax form in the United States, actually issued by the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. And this would refer to the Social Security number, which is an identifying number you might have in the United States. All right, so let's see. So there's this is kind of interesting. In addition to our 2x2 repeateds, we have a kind of very light sub-theme where we have little pairs that echo one another, like vote and MPs and doses and non, and I think there were a few others. I can't remember, but I think that was maybe a little tiny extra thing snuck in here by Matthew Stock and Shandy Deitmer. Okay, what's next? Amscray. Go away, I suppose. So amscray is scram in Pig Latin, which I recently incorrectly explained in one of these videos. Kernel of an idea could be the germ of the idea, and love of languages could be amor, in other words, love in a different language. Barnyard bleat could be ma, or ba, I guess, actually. Yeah, it is ba. Because dangerous part of a road on which to pass would be the bend of a road. You wouldn't want to pass another car on the bend. Best Picture winner of 2012 was Argo. Maybe I don't know this fried plantain dish. I'm surprised. Certainly eaten Puerto Rican fried plantains. Yeah, I guess I don't. Power source. Fuel. Oh. I suppose that makes sense. That's straightforward. So, mofongo. Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry about that. Anyway, we'll move on. Die Hard Squad in brief. The LAPD, I suppose. Los Angeles Police Department. And a basketball feat suggested by this... Oh. Basketball feat suggested by this puzzle's pairs of theme answers informally. It must be double-double. Okay, I don't know what that signifies, but some kind of basketball thing. And this is our revealer, I suppose, in a way. Not really. The revealer is the answer that explains what's going on with the theme clues throughout the puzzle. But in this case, and this is close to where the revealer would usually be located. It's usually towards the end of the puzzle in the acrosses. But it doesn't really explain it. It just sort of ties into it, I suppose. Extroverts are what? People? Yes, okay. And ouch, ouch, ouch could be yow. High style could be a hairstyle. Up high could be an updo. And mais oui, but of course in French. Cyber Chase Channel. Don't know Cyber Chase, but is it PBS, the public broadcasting system? It must be, because in on could be wise to, and add on could be tack on. There we go. All right. And that is the Sunday puzzle. I would say that was on the easy side for a Sunday puzzle, which suited my purposes today. And we had this really fun theme that helped it, I think, helped the puzzle be a smooth solving. We had Sister, Sister, Monaco, Monaco, Louie, Louie, Extra, Extra, etc., Surprise, Surprise, Names, Names, Knock, Knock, People, People, and Double, Double. That's quite a few. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's halfway through the puzzle. So we had 10 theme answers. Very impressive. Well done to our constructors, Matthew Stock and Shandy Deitmer. And yeah, again, I think a fairly straightforward puzzle. So we had that additional. It's arguable whether I'm just reading into the puzzle or whether there is indeed echoing and doubling going on. I think maybe there is, but anyway, that's my interpretation. You feel free to differ. Anyway, it was fairly straightforward, so I think I'll move on. I will move on to yesterday's clues. So let's find those. We had a few. that I highlighted. Laura Sexton explains regarding Madam C.J. Walker. She says, when you live in Indianapolis, Madam Walker is an easy fill since she started her hair care business here. I looked up Madam C.J. Walker, who was was listed in Guinness Book of Records as the first self-made female American millionaire, and an incredibly impressive career. She was a black woman who managed to create a line of hair and skincare products that made her very successful, and she became quite a philanthropist and just a really impressive figure. And sorry, I should indicate what's especially impressive about this is that this was in the late 19th century. So very impressive. Okay, Brian Spurrier explains, actually we have two explanations about Tartarus. So Brian Spurrier and Jamaican Skeleton each explain this. Jamaican Skeleton says, Tartarus is indeed mythical, like you said. Tartarus comes from Greek mythology and is the deepest pit of the underworld. It holds many powerful beings damned to it for eternity. Tartarus is also the name of a god who is more primordial, ancient, and abstract than the more well-known Zeus or Poseidon. And then Brian Spurrier added, Tartarus was a pit in Greek mythology mainly used to confine the Titans or other enemies of the gods. It is described both as a part of and separate from Hades, with no real consistency. In Roman mythology and Christianity, it is conflated with the biblical hell, hence the clue. So there we go, it was clued as hell yesterday. And Thor Christensen says, indeed, Tina Fey's full name is Elizabeth Stamatina Fey. So I never knew that, so now I do. Sam, aka Frisco17, says, you seem to gloss over the tag clue to not to consider its meaning. The word it. So the clue was make it game-wise, and the answer was tag. It is used in the sense as to make someone it, to make somebody else it in the game of tag. So very clever, and indeed I did sort of gloss over that. ZioR95 says, Nikki de Jager is a Dutch beauty YouTuber whose channel is Nikki Tutorials. It's good timing for her to be mentioned in the crossword, as this coming week is the week of the Eurovision Song Contest, and she was one of the hosts of last year's contest hosted in Rotterdam. Considering she hasn't done much in the way of presenting, especially not in your first language, she did a fantastic job. So yes, I was unfamiliar with this person. I did look her up afterwards, and yes, a very successful beauty YouTuber. And I think that was it. That's all I have on the clues from yesterday's puzzle. So thank you to everybody who wrote in about that. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm traveling for all of this week, so hopefully I don't miss any days. But if I do, you have my deepest apologies. I'm usually pretty good at keeping this going, even remotely. So hopefully that everything works out fine. But that's that. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with the Monday crossword. It should be much easier than this one. And we'll see you then. All right. Until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.